Welcome back to Hedge Apple Acres. I'm Cal, and today's video we're going to do a beehive split. It's late summer here, but before we get into why I'm splitting it, if you're new in my channel, I help you raise, manage, and breed livestock while managing forages for grazing, as well as our honeybees. Click on the subscribe button below. Click on the, let's try that again. Click on the subscribe button below. Also click on the bell to receive an email notification when I release a new video. Today we're doing a split of this package we installed in April. We're going to do a simple split in that we're going to find the queen and move her with some nurse bees and some other bees to a nuke box and let the big hive stay in its place and raise some new queens so we can do a couple more splits. It's late summer and the main nectar flow is over, so I'm doing this to get them increased in time so that they can store up honey for the winter and I have more hives for next spring. So first thing you do whenever you're doing a split, which is most important, have all the equipment you need. I have a nuke here, I have the beehive, and I have frames in here in the nuke so that when I take a frame out of the beehive and put it in the nuke, I'll put an empty frame in its place. I'll go through the hive and find the queen first and work from there. When doing a split like this, you have to find the queen. If you can't find the queen, you need to use like the Doolittle method for splitting hives, and I'll have a video on that. As usual, I'm going gloveless, so I smoke my hands pretty good, and I also want to smoke under my shirt. I checked bees the other day for the local ag program. They've got a few hives, and my smoker went out, and then I had a bee crawl in my shirt and sting me right on my belly. So if I look fatter than normal, it's because I got stung on my stomach. Otherwise, I'm losing weight greatly. Okay, that may not be true. Come on, get to burning. I use burlap in my smoker just because that's always what I've done. I have a readily available source of it. You say, what is a readily available source of burlap? Since we don't get feed in gunny sacks anymore. It's teachers. Teachers like to decorate with burlap. And then a lot of them decorate and then throw it away. So I am there to collect it. I tell them throughout the year, or sometime whenever I see what they've done, if they want to get rid of it, I would like it. And a lot of times, they're like, oh, I've got a cabinet full there that I'm not using. Okay, we've got this. Got a frame with some cone that needs changed. Okay, I'm gonna pop down to the bottom because I want to look for the queen. So we'll go ahead and pull this over. This is a queen that, if you remember from the other day, had a really nice laying pattern. Nope, my bottom didn't come with me. So let's just start. Of course, the outside's not likely to have her, but that doesn't mean you won't find her there. Lots of pollen. Lots of pollen on both sides. So this makes it a good source to put into my nuke because I need a frame of pollen for it. So let's just go ahead and do that. Got some spider webs on this frame. I don't want to put that in yet, but I will put the pollen right here. Now you notice I didn't shake off any bees. It's because any of the foragers that's on that, when they fly out of the hive, they're going to fly back to their original hive. There's apt to not be any nurse bees, but nurse bees will stay with the new hive. Okay, I have some cap brood here. I also have some eggs. What I'd like to see around the eggs is some newly hatched ones, so I can do on the spot queen rearing, which means I'll just notch the comb, makes it easier for them to build. Now there's a nice frame of brood, pretty full. I'm going to give this frame to the bees, and also that's going to go between two frames that's drawn out really well. This will give me some cap brood, so this nuke will have an influx of new bees shortly. And now I still need honey, and I still need another frame of brood with the queen. Here's some brood, some honey on it. Wouldn't be a bad one to put in there. Biggest, oh, this got a fair amount of honey, some brood, some pollen. I'm going to put this in here over at the side. It also puts my my frames a little bit apart. Now this is a nuke I built so it holds 5 frames really tightly. I built it for 5 narrow frames, but I have some regular width frames, and that causes a little bit of issue from time to time. In fact, I have some narrow frames. I probably ought to put the narrow frame in there rather than the wide frame. I don't have the queen, but I want to look at this side. I've got lots of young brood. So what I'm going to do is just find some of that young brood. And what I'm looking for is brood that is newly hatched. So I go to where the brood ends and the eggs start, and I go in, just take a width of my hive tool and I notch it. So there's a notch, and what happens, those bees, if they want to build a queen cell there, they can build down. They've got room and they don't have to tear down cell walls. How good does it work? It depends. Sometimes I notch the right cells, sometimes I don't. Just the way it is. I've got an X on this frame because I've done it there before. I'll put a new X on there. Okay. Let's see if we got the queen in the top. We've got lots of bees there. Here, to move the whole deal. Oh! The queen is right there, of all places for her. So we are going to let her crawl down there. She's about to. She just crawled in there. So I've got the queen, and she was on the top cover, the most unlikely spot for her. So I've got her in my nuke. What I want to do is get some nurse bees and knock off in there. So because this population will drop down, because anything that's been out of the hive will fly back to their original hive. And as I recall, one of these middle frames had open brood on it. I'd love to do 2 shakes, 2 frames. So we're going to do this frame, and then we're going to do 1 more frame. They don't like that very much, so we're going to do this frame. And now while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and close this up. Oh, I need to put that frame in there. I'm going to let them settle for just a second. They're like, what was that? They are not happy with that. I don't blame them. Okay, let's go ahead and put this frame in. I gotta be careful, the queen is right there just hanging out on the top. Do not want her hurt. Okay, we've got the queen, a frame of cap brood, a little bit of open brood, not as much as I usually do, a frame of pollen, a frame of honey. So they're in here, and I'm just going to slide them over here. The queen will start laying. Any foragers that went to the new hive, they'll leave this hive and come back to their mother hive. This mother hive, on the other hand, is going to realize it's queenless. So it will start raising queens. So I'll come back in about 7 days and look at those frames I notched. Also look elsewhere for queens. And I can not come back and do that and just let one of those queens emerge and take over this hive. But what I really want to do, I want to split this hive further, so I have some small nukes getting ready for winter and the fall flow coming up. So I'll take some of those queen cells and put them in multiple ones. As always, we appreciate you watching, and we encourage you to comment, like, subscribe, and share. We'll be seeing you more.